It's not even really a desk, it is a folding table. It is time to upgrade the desk. We are going to get a genuine computer desk. Not that fancy, right? Well, we got one that has some LEDs in it. So, we got the desk here. I did actually get this one off of Amazon. I looked around a little bit. I didn't want to spend like a ton of money, but like when it came down to it, the price was really good, but it had LEDs, it had features. It was a sizing. Sizing seemed to be an issue. Trying to get a larger desk that had LEDs in it was actually kind of difficult. I mean, there's definitely some like, $1,000 stuff. Like even $300, you couldn't really get one that was long, wide. I need something fairly large. I don't want a whole lot of drawers. I want to be able to put stuff underneath of it. And I wanted something a little more gamey, a little bit nicer. And I wanted the LEDs. So when it came down to it, this one ticked all of my boxes, and it just so happened to be relatively cheap at about $110 shipped, like $100. I figured we'll give it a shot. It seemed like it was pretty good. The reviews were good. There was no YouTube reviews. There was no video reviews of this particular one, but from this brand, there were a few. And it seemed like as a whole, the brand does well. We're gonna go ahead and start assembling everything. So first off, we open up the box, got everything set out. As you can see my little helper there, getting some of the tubes together so we can get the screws in, get them all tightened up. Now we did initially put this on backwards, and you might notice that the bar itself actually goes the other way, so we do end up having to flip that around, but no big deal. It wasn't too hard to flip back. Got the feet on. Overall, the process really wasn't that bad. It didn't take a ton of time. And as we got everything together, it seems like the rigidity of the desk really came together pretty good. So while I think it is a little bit on the cheaper end, I do think it was engineered well so that when everything is secured properly in place, it does feel very solid, even down to the point of having 3 pieces for the top versus just having one solid piece. You might think one solid piece would be way better or more firm, but it's actually pretty solid with the 3 separate pieces. Obviously, shipping was probably a large factor as to why they did it that way. So we got it all together now. Install wasn't horrible. The instructions are pretty much just pictures, nothing but pictures. Sturdy wise, it's not bad. I think the screw points seem to be very intelligently spaced. So as we started screwing more and more together, it really brought the rigidity together. I think it'll hold up, but we'll see long term. I don't know about if you have like a 20-30 pound computer, if you would want to put it on top. I am not going to be putting mine on top. But if you've got one that's maybe like 5 pounds, 10 pounds, that's probably not so bad. So, keep that in mind. One thing, in case I forget, the plugs, when I was testing, I did find out that even though they use a standard JST, they are flipped power and ground. So you're going to make sure you flip the power and ground on them. And that way they go to the standard that most stuff uses, like even the Lee and Lee controllers are the normal like we see on cars. A lot of the controllers you get SP105s and stuff like that, the Ghost controllers, anything like that, they use a certain, power ground and the data in between. These, the power ground are flipped, so keep that in mind. Now I'm installing right now the cable caddy. This really did come in handy when finishing everything up. I kind of thought it was a little gimmicky at first, didn't think I'd really use it, but it actually did serve a pretty good purpose. And I'm installing the cup holder and the headphone holder that came with it. I did end up moving the cup holder to the other side because I have the computer tower on that side, but it can be placed on either side of the desk. So now I am running cable management, and keep in mind in this setup, I do have quite a few wires that have to be run and trying to keep them together as clean as I can, but it is pretty difficult because there is quite a bit of wiring with this setup. All right, so we have finished running all the wires, getting everything hooked back up. I think that part took longer than putting the desk together, but the outcome is good. It really does open up my workspace a lot from what the folding table was, and I was able to tie in, get it all pretty easily managed. It's a nice little cable caddy here. You can tuck some stuff up under there, so I did use that. That was nice. Little cable management. I did put my surge protector, screwed it to the bottom. Keep stuff kind of out of the way up and out. I've got a lot of wires, so, doing this really clean. You'd almost have to get a ton of measurements and a ton of custom length wires, which don't have, and I'm really not interested in spending the money on it. So I did the best I could with what I got. There is a computer. Now, being the height of the tower, you do have to consider that it would not fit around this bar which is pretty important bar because that's a lot of your stability. So I did have to put it on the outside. And I did get the RGB ran to the same controller that is inside the computer. I'm using the Lee & Lee's. According to Lee & Lee's website, they are the Connect 3, Lee & Lee 3 Connect or something like that. They are good to 5 watts per channel, which is about an amp. So, like I said, relatively low power draw. LEDs on the side here. I would say overall for about $100 shipped, I'm very happy with it. The carbon fiber top is obviously not real carbon fiber. It's wood with a overlay. The mat that comes with it does fill out the desk more, but I'm not going to be using that. Obviously, I'll use my own. Plus, for my camera, microphone, overhead cam, all that stuff, I do mount it to the table, and adding the mat in between there just gives it a little bit of a less secure hold. It's not drastic. It's nothing to be too worried about, but this is a better, just not having the mats there. But everything works great. Everything's lined up well. Everything's where it needs. I mean, even the 35-inch monitor. And you can kind of see what I see sitting here when I do some videos and stuff. Editing station, recording station, everything. I think for my needs, this is going to work really well. And once again, this was the 63-inch. I will have a link in the description for the actual desk that I got. They have several different sizes if you're looking for something smaller. I honestly would have gone a little bit longer if I could have, but 63-inch was the biggest they had. What do you think, buddy? Putting it together wasn't too bad, was it?
Yeah.
You like the LEDs? It's definitely worth checking out. The desk, for $100, it's solid. I would say it's pretty much just as solid as the folding table, without trying to oversell it. I do think it did well. I'm happy with the purchase for $100. Thanks for watching the video. If you found this helpful, subscribe, like, definitely helps out with the channel, as well as if you do like the desk and you want to pick one up, if you use the affiliate link, it really does help out. I do appreciate it. Till the next video.